I'm the sum total of my ancestors. I carry their DNA. We are representatives of a long line of people, and we cart them around everywhere. This long line of people that goes back to the beginning of time. And when we meet, they meet other lines of people. And we say, bring together the lines of men.
It is important to understand what communication is before expanding on translating the untranslatable. Communication is a process whereby an addresser sends a message to an addressee in a particular context using a common code.
Back over the years of the things that brought tears to my eyes. Papa said we have to be wise to live long lives. Now I recognize what my father said before he died.
Translation regards the transition between two cultures, and translators, as cultural mediators, assume the role of representing these cultures. As regards the concept of the untranslatable, untranslatability is the part of a text in one language for which no equivalent text can be found in another language. It is a deficiency in communication, a loss of information or parts of the message that make the same message incomplete. The context is the background of the communicative situation that influences language use. An important aspect to underline is the concept of the translatability of a culture. If a culture can be considered complementary or subsidiary depends on the translator's knowledge and approach to relations between language and culture. In fact, it is useful to use terms like source culture and target culture instead of source language and target language. Total translation concerns both cultural translation and translatability. It is a complex phenomenon that sometimes is nearly impossible to reach. For this reason, it is important to speak of cultural translation that not only can be found between two languages, but also between two cultural systems. Therefore, culture is essential. Translation becomes a mutual motivation to know different cultures, and translators are aware of the existing differences between their culture and the one they have to describe. Speaking about Mafian culture appears to be a paradox, but it is much more than a criminal organization. According to Sandro Attanasio, an Italian journalist, a mafia is an extra chromosome, a criminal chromosome with a tendency to block crime. Mafia means feeling like a mafioso. It is an attitude, but also a way of being and thinking. It is a part of men who are deeply rooted in mafia style, and it does not matter if they are managers, clerks, workers or judges. It is arrogance, bullying, complicity, abuse, prevarication. Paolo Borsellino, one of the most important magistrates killed by the Sicilian mafia, affirmed that Cosa Nostra is a criminal organization with a hierarchy and a vertical structure which can be distinguished due to its characteristic of territoriality. It is divided into families that depend on the cupola and tend to exercise the same sovereignty that rightfully belongs to the state. The term Camorra indicates all the criminal activities that have origin in the Italian region of Campania. Being a Camorrista means sharing a common way of thinking that includes bullying, abuse of power, and codes of silence.
When I look back over the years of the things that brought tears to my eyes, Papa said we have to be wise to live long lives.
The Casalesi clan is a cartel within the Camorra, operating from Casal di Principe, near Caserta, between Naples and Salerno. Created by Antonio Bardellino, it is a confederation of clans in the Caserta area. The Casalesi clan is believed to be one of the most powerful groups specialized in construction. The cartel is currently run by Antonio Iovine and Michele Zagaria.
And if I don't see that I'm strong, then I won't be. This is what my daddy told me. I wished he would hold me a little more than he did, but he taught me my culture and how to live positive. I never wanna shame the blood in my veins and bring pain to my sweet grandfather's face. In his resting place, I make haste to learn and not waste everything my forefathers.
Published in 2006, Gomorrah is a docu-fiction novel. The book describes the clandestine particulars of the activities carried out by the Camorra and the Casalesi clan. Roberto Saviano, the author, is an Italian writer and journalist. Comparing the Anglo-American translation by Virginia Jewish and the Spanish translation by Teresa Clavel and Francisco Ramos Mena, here are some examples of cultural and linguistic untranslatable translations. At the beginning of Gomorrah, Saviano writes 4 quotes, one of which is a wiretapped conversation. La gente sono vermi e devono rimanere vermi. In English, people are worms and they have to stay worms. The Italian version has 2 errors. The verbs are in the plural form instead of the singular form. Both translators do not translate this peculiarity. The translators omitted an important part of the cultural aspects of the Camorra. Most Camorra members are nearly illiterate. They did not attend high school, and this is important to understand the social background of this kind of mafia.
And nice things, better check what your future brings us now. And your forefathers for the know-how. Go now into the world without hatred. Use your head. If the needle is wise, beat the thread. And weave ancestral wisdom, yours by birth, spreading the Lord's word over this broad earth. This is what my daddy told me. I wished he would hold me a little more than he did, but he taught me my culture and how to live positive. I never wanna shame the blood in my veins and bring pain to my sweet grandfather's face. In his resting place, I make haste to learn and not waste everything my forefathers earned in tears for my culture.